reading a little more from the vEGGan diet, and I don't know where I left off last time, so I might be overlapping a little bit from the last one. But if you're watching this from an ad, click below, whatever the button is below. That goes to my website, see what I have there, and also subscribe to this channel because I put videos on this channel. And I'm starting to put more and more and more. You don't need that much more animal product other than eggs. A small amount of animal products combined with eggs will meet and exceed our B12 requirements. If you are consuming 6 eggs a day, then just a couple ounces of red meat will suffice, or a small amount of Greek yogurt. The vEGGan diet is about being elite. It is about searching for the elite choices of food for our bodies. Remember that when making your food selection. Like I said, I personally always take a B12 supplement. But if I were to ditch the B12 supplement altogether and rely on getting my B12 requirements from food alone, here is what I would do. I would switch things up a little bit with my diet. And I would eat a dozen eggs more often. Which a dozen eggs, I said before and earlier, a dozen eggs meets our daily value of B12. Probably about every other day, maybe less. I doubt that I would eat a dozen eggs every single day. I wouldn't. This would up my fat intake quite a bit, and I don't want to really up my fat take. I eat my eggs at night, so I would not feel the effects too much of being full from fats. I would just eat as I regularly do and not count my calories. My body will tell me when I am hungry and when I'm not. On the other days, I would rotate in the best sources of animal product that I feel gives me the highest quality of nutrition. I personally would not add red meat or dairy to my diet. I would simply consume more of what I already mentioned earlier in the fats section. I would consume more salmon, oysters, clams, mussels, those types of shellfish. I would consume more of those. I would put clams up at the top of the list of vitamin B12 dense sea animals. Clams are also very high in iron. About 20 small baby clams can provide over 3,000% of the daily value of B12. So mixing just a very small amount of clams into the diet is going to be plenty. I would rotate in clams, salmon on most occasions. I would throw in the occasional oyster, probably like 2 times a month. I would just see how this goes for a while. I would consider adding more shellfish into the rotation if needed, and also possibly tuna as well if needed. Eggs would still be my main source of B12 food, and my seafoods would increase enough to provide my body with the proper amount of B12s that it needed. If I had to pick between adding dairy versus adding red meat into the equation, I would choose dairy by Greek yogurt. If I had to choose between adding red meat or B12 fortified processed calories, I would choose red meat. The mentality of this diet is to always seek out the best choice first. Let me read that again. The mentality of this diet, the vEGGan diet, is to always seek out the best choices first. If you can go with that, then you should go with what is the highest standard. If not, start going down the list and look for the second highest standard that you can choose. This is what the vEGGan diet is all about. It is not an all-egg diet. It is about making the absolute best choices nutritionally across the board. This requires us to educate ourselves on what is inside of the food that we eat and why we need to consume specific amounts of these vitamins and minerals. Why we are our own nutritionist. This is the goal. Become your very own nutritionist. I have been shouting this from a bullhorn in the forest for years now, like a decade. I've been saying this for like a decade. Only a few lone wolves out here in the forest have heard me and taken it to heart. And very few people will. People will just dismiss a lot of things I say. While I prove I'm reversing my age as the years go on. The majority of people in this world will not even care enough about themselves to even entertain the thought of becoming their own nutritionist. Do not be one of these people. You can add decades of high quality living to your life if you just decide to take over the reins. It all begins with our nutrition. Taking over the reins of your nutrition is the beginning of you becoming a better you each and every single day. So vegetables equal micronutrients. In the vegan diet, we think of vegetables as micronutrients. This is how we view them. We do not ever count vegetable calories, nor do we put a limit on how many vegetables that we eat. We eat vegetables every day, and we eat an abundance of them. A wide variety of vegetables ensures us that we are meeting our daily requirements of many of our vitamins and minerals. Vegetables timing does not matter. If you like eating vegetables in the morning, eat them in the morning. If you like eating vegetables in the afternoon, eat them in the afternoon. If you like eating vegetables at night, eat them at night. If you hate eating vegetables, then drink them. Blend your vegetables up with fruits into smoothies. You can make thousands of variations of healthy vegetable-dense smoothies and not even taste the vegetables inside of them. If you seriously cannot eat vegetables because they are gross to you, then you have some big issues to fix first before you do anything. While we do not eat for entertainment here, we still can enjoy foods. And foods are enjoyable. And smoothies are very enjoyable. Also, they are a convenient way to get in vegetables, especially green leafy ones like spinach. Near the end of this book, I'm going to give you 50 smoothie recipes that are high in micronutrients and all contain a variety of vegetables inside of them. For a lot of people, smoothies are a go-to easy snack and even a full meal. I have some really high-quality smoothie recipes to give you later in this book. You can use these as you wish in your life: breakfast, pre-workout, post-workout, snacks, drinks, or drink with meals. Doesn't matter. Smoothies are great any time of the day. I am going to give you plenty of vegetable-dense smoothie recipes too, for those people who need to get more vegetables into their bodies. Fuel foods. The vegan diet is not about eating eggs. It is about defining what perfection is and trying to attain it on a daily basis. No matter how much of whatever it may be that you eat, perfection as far as the diet is concerned begins with 100% unprocessed foods. The main objective with this diet is to consume unprocessed foods totally. It isn't easy to do in today's world. Everyone knows that processed calories are bad for us. When many people who begin to think about their nutrition and want to try and eat healthier start to take out some processed calories from their diet, they generally view these processed calories as carbs. People tend to lump everything bad for them into the carbs category because the processed garbage they are eating contains a lot of refined carbohydrates. This is true. They also generally contain a lot of bad fats as well. But right now, the wind is blowing in the direction of blaming carbs and loving fats. This becomes instilled in the heads of people who are not trying to become their own nutritionist. The thing to do right now is to replace those refined carbs with meat and vegetables, or high amounts of fat, like drinking oils and stuff like that. That's like the in thing. Sorry, but this is wrong. This is so wrong. What should be done is replace all of those processed calories containing refined carbs and bad fats, or just too much fat, with real carbohydrates from real food sources. Very simple. Food sources such as fruits, tubers, beans, unprocessed grains, and rices. These are the types of foods that people should be replacing their processed calories with. Not meats, proteins, not fats, hormone balancing foods, not vegetables, micronutrients. Where I define them like that. Meats are proteins, fats for hormone balancing, vegetables, micronutrients, when you think of the food and what it's for, what its purpose is. Remember how we defined all of these already. We are breaking, I'm sorry. I didn't read this. I didn't read this ahead of time. I'm going to say the same thing probably. We are breaking down foods to what their optimal purpose is intended to be. and we are feeding our bodies exactly what it needs from each source in order to perform optimally and give ourselves a shot at reversing age, a shot at it. It takes a lot. It takes a lot. Carbohydrates are our body's preferred choice of food to use as fuel. Our body wants to break down carbohydrates into glucose and use it as our primary energy source. All of the macronutrients are important, but they all serve their own purpose in our bodies. If you remove carbohydrates and replace them with proteins, fats, and micronutrient-dense vegetables, the body will figure out how to turn non-carbohydrates into glucose. It is called I can't say this word, gluconeogenesis. I think I said it correctly. You can Google that term and look it up, because, it's always good to look up stuff for yourself. I'm not going to say what it is. But this is not the preferred choice of our system. And healthy individuals should not feel the need to put our body through this process for no reason other than I heard some 20-something-year-old guy on YouTube talking about it. This is a fad right now online. People who do not need to even lower their carbohydrates or replace them with fats and proteins, doing so because it is popular in online fitness. Most people have no clue what they are even doing. Many people jump on these keto type of diets, keto with big quotation marks, because they're not keto. They're like low carb. And they're not even really ketogenic diets at all. They're low carb diets that they do not even need to be doing. But many of these diets contain too much protein in them to really be a ketogenic diet. Those people are not in ketosis. They are low carbing and more than likely also high caffeinating. If that's a word. I don't know if that's a word. If not, I made it up. Real ketogenic diets should be monitored by experts who place patients on them who are in serious poor health. Poor enough to require them to have to eliminate carbohydrates completely. This is a last-ditch effort type of thing. It is kind of mind-boggling to see so many people who think of themselves as health and fitness enthusiasts eager to jump on this bandwagon. It's sad. A true ketosis diet is for those people who really have no other choice but to be on it. It is like being a person who has full function of their legs, making a decision to get themselves around in a wheelchair, and actually being excited about it at the same time. It makes no sense to me. I understand the thrill of something new, but people should at least do a tiny bit of research on what a ketogenic diet actually is. And even the low-carb diets they default into aren't the optimal choice for most people, especially people who are health and fitness enthusiasts. The body wants energy foods, and the best source of energy foods are carbohydrate-dominant, unprocessed foods. Once you know how to place proteins, fats, micronutrients, and carbohydrates into their proper categories, you can clearly understand exactly what I'm saying here. They all serve an equal purpose in our bodies. Think of them as a sports team, each playing their position that they are best at. What would happen to a football team if you switched positions with the center and the quarterback? The game, which is our life, would still go on, but the team would not be as good offensively, right? This is what people are doing when they are trying to eat clean or eat cleaner. They should be replacing that old, washed up, broken down quarterback, which is the processed carbs, with a young, fresh new quarterback, which is carbs from unprocessed foods, real foods. I know this analogy technically has a flaw in it, but I'm leaving it anyways. I thought of changing it to be more accurate, but we'll leave it the way it is so you can find the flaw in it and point it out to me later. There's a flaw in that. You know what I'm saying though with this analogy. I'm saying that for people who aren't on their deathbeds and do not require professionally trained, supervised carbohydrate elimination, We should all be replacing those processed carbs with unprocessed carbs. And I'm going to leave it at that, and I will come back and I will do another one later. Click below, and if you're watching this from an ad, it's more than likely below. If it's on YouTube, it is below, but if it's somewhere else, I don't know where it's going to be. But there's going to be some type of a link. Go there, go to my website, see what I have on there. And subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to this channel and tell me that you want more. And tell me because you can tell me however you want. People generally tell me stuff privately, but if it'd be nice if you could tell me in the comments, just so it could, it helps circulate it helps the video circulate. So, but if you're shy to do that, like a lot of people are, I get it. But still, if you have a YouTube account, just say something in the comments. Say whatever. If you want videos on something, whatever. Or a question for what this video is talking about. Anyways, you have yourself a great day.